All right, so Odysseus has to return to Circe's island so that he can figure out how to get home. So he gets back to Circe, tells her what he has seen, and she's like, okay, well, you have a very difficult task ahead of you. He essentially has to figure out how to get around the sirens and how to go between a rock and a hard place. Now, this summary of what we're about to read is on page 130 of the virtual text, but I'm not going to spoil this part, okay? We're going to talk about what it means to be between a rock and a hard place. Now, you may have heard this phrase before. It's what we call an idiom. It's a phrase that is commonly used in our language, between a rock and a hard place. So you could say something like, man, virtual school, I just sometimes feel like I'm trapped between a rock and a hard place. It's something we use to express that we're in a very difficult situation. So when Odysseus leaves Circe, he knows he is going between a rock and a hard place. This is the origin of the phrase. Odysseus must navigate his ship between a rock and a hard place. Now, many of us might think a hard place as in something that is hard like a rock, but it actually means a challenge. So the rock is a cliff, and on this cliff is a monster who has multiple heads. I think she has 6 heads. So he has to navigate his ship around a cliff where there's a monster with 6 heads that wants to eat 6 men. And then the hard place is actually a whirlpool. So it's a circular spinning current of water that will suck you down and drown everybody. So he must go between a rock, which is a 6-headed monster named Scylla, and then a hard place, which is a whirlpool named Charybdis. So the phrase between a rock and a hard place means an impossible choice. And it came from this part of the Odyssey because Odysseus is about to have to make an impossible choice.